Hi, my name's Matt. I work in IT and this is Carl who works in antiques. I used to work with Carl in the 90s, restoring furniture, stripping doors, doing a bit of general everything in the antiques trade. And we've remained friends all these years. And we're about to launch a new channel. And the purpose of this video really is to give you a bit of background on who we are, what we do, where we've come from and where we are right now. There will be a weekly show after this video that where we'll share the interesting people that we meet and the interesting places that we go to. But really it's just this is an introduction to the channel. I'm going to interview Carl very shortly and I'll hand over to him in a minute for a couple of minutes about what we're doing. And that's it really. So, Carl.
Thanks, Matt. Cheers. Yeah. Well, originally we started off with this just to get traffic to the website, so we could start selling items from the website rather than going through the usual channels of putting the stuff in auction or going to antique fairs and standing and selling to trade. So it's grown a bit since then, and we're now looking at giving a bit more information out to people, not only to dealers but to people wanting to start up, anybody that's interested in any aspect of the antique trade. We'll try and cover most of it, although we don't know a lot about any of it, but we can blag our way through and show you what we know. Take you with us on a bit of a journey really, because it's a journey for us. Like I said, Matt used to work for me 25 years ago, something like that. Yeah. He started on 20 quid a day when he was a young man. Got sick of it, couldn't live on his 20 quid a day, so he went off programming computers and has done extremely well, knows what he's on about. And he's brought a lot to this business now, where we can use AI, which we have been doing to build the website. And you'll see a lot of it as we're going through the series. And yeah, it's just we don't really know what we're doing. We're just going to start off and do it, and hopefully you'll come with us. We'll make a lot of mistakes. Don't take 100% for everything that we say is true, because some of it we just might not. We might be wrong.
We don't bullshit on purpose though.
No. Well, you'll meet some interesting characters, some proper weird characters. This antique trade is just full of strange people, and hopefully some of them will allow us to do some filming. But we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, welcome, and yeah, Matt, take it away, man.
Okay, so let's crack on with the interview. So, can you tell us a bit about yourself and how you got into the antique business?
Yeah, I can, yeah. Well, it was necessity really. As I've been in the job since I was about 19. I'd left school, started as a mechanic, leaving school, realised that just was not for me, and I was just too dirty. Absolutely horrible, freezing cold job. And my uncle was a scrap dealer, and he used to give. My mother liked brass at the time. The house was full of brass. Anyway, when that went out of fashion, she was going to weigh it all back in, and I took it off her, and I went down to started off with the Saracen's Head, which was probably the first car boot sale that there was, run by Hoyle's Antiques. And I think I took £100 on the first afternoon, and in them days £100 was a week's wages, and I'd done it in an afternoon. So that's how I got started, and from then went doing house clearances, which was you could do 3 or 4 house clearances in a week in them days, which was absolutely fantastic. And though I made more money then than I ever made, to be honest, in them first couple of years of doing that. Then I don't even know where it all went wrong, to be quite honest. But yeah, that's how I started. That's me. That's how I started. That was when I was 19. I'm now 62. So yeah, it was a long time ago.
62.
62, mate. I know. You wouldn't believe that, would you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long in total have you been dealing in antiques?
Well, 19 to 62. What does that work out? You know, good at maths or something.
38, 50, 60 years.
No, it can't be 60 years. 19 to 62. I can be 60 years.
Hang on, right, 24,
No.
62.
Yeah.
So that's 38 plus 24. Sure it was 62
You've
that you
got,
started?
I'll tell you what, you've got a lot. No, 62 now.
Right, when did you start dealing in
So
antiques?
you've got a lot of editing to do on this one.
I'm not changing this bit.
I don't know. So we're talking 43 years ago.
Right, so you've been doing it 43 years.
years.
No, that was an easier question to ask that. I should have done it the other way around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you good at this IT? Are you?
Oh, the first time I've done it.
Yeah, right.
I'm talking to you.
Go on then.
So, what type of antiques do you specialise in, really?
I don't specialise in anything at the moment, which is probably one of the biggest mistakes I ever made. One of the best pieces of advice I ever got when I was starting off was off an old dealer from Manchester who said to me, "Listen, son, specialise in something." And I just thought, well, you're an old dealer from Manchester and you don't know what you're doing. Anyway, that was probably the best piece of advice I've ever ignored in my life. What he did do, this guy, was he taught me how to remove gold from rolled gold and bits of jewellery, because that's what you used to do in them days, when you could go around and get bits of rolled gold furniture compacts and bracelets and that for pennies, and he'd get back to his place and he'd strip it off with acid, and he made a lot of money specialising in rolled gold. So we broadly, if you could say I did specialise in anything, it was the architectural antiques, which over the years has been my biggest earner. That was great up until probably about 10 years ago, when the market changed. People stopped doing self builds, and the building job stopped really after the crisis. Really, I suppose the 2007-2008 financial crisis. That killed the the architectural job. It's starting to come back a bit now, and we're starting to export a bit of the architectural antiques, and they're getting scarcer as well because a lot got thrown out. So yeah, that's, I could say architectural's the main thing, but we're tending to go less on the furniture now, because the furniture market's really bad, and we're going on the smalls. So we're getting into well, basically with the advent of eBay and stuff like that, we're trying to get stuff that is postable, deliverable. You know, furniture's difficult, and you've got to take it. You could put it in the back of your van, drop it off in London or something, and it's a massive expense. So the smaller the item, the more we can get it delivered properly for some good couriers out there that will deliver your stuff for you. So yeah, smalls we're going into now, even though I have got a lot of architectural antiques, which hopefully you'll see on the website. Some nice stuff. I'm still, it's a bug, isn't it? So I'll still buy them. I bought 60 timbers the other day that I have no idea what I'm going to do with, but you know, they won't be on the website, but
Not yet.
Not yet, but I'll take a picture of them. So yeah, and anything and everything really. We generalise. So.
Okay. What do you think separates an average antique dealer from a great one?
Good question. No, I don't know really, to be quite honest with you. Your average antique dealer has to make a living out of it. Your great antique dealer has a choice of not having to sell something, and he has the money behind him, and he's got the knowledge. You know, they're quite. If you've got a lot of money, you tend to be quite clever, or they come at it from another angle, where they've not started off being an antique dealer, and they've always had to fight for a living. The good antique dealer doesn't have to sell his stock. Yeah,
so it's about resources and investment and being able to take time and hodl.
Very much so.
Rather than being in a position where you're fairly desperate and need the money.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. Excuse me. How do you go about sourcing your antiques? Where do you typically find your average buy?
Now, well, we've found recently, over the last couple of years, the auction houses are quite good. Whereas traditionally, you know, auction houses you were better off with house clearances or antique fairs are not bad. It's a mixture of anything now. You know, you can find a good antique on a car boot sale. You can find a good antique and make a bit of money out of a good antique fair where everybody thinks they know everything about antiques. Mm. You know, no antique dealer knows everything about everything. So you can get a bargain out of every antique fair. There's one antique in the antique fair that you can make money on. Every auction, you can usually get a bargain out of an auction. And what's happening now with the auction houses is there's a lot of older collectors, really good quality antique dealers that are passing away. They're getting old, they're dying, and the collectors by nature the hoarders, and the families are finding out, oh, this guy's got 5,000 pictures or 1,000 watches, or he's collected coins, and they've got a collection, they haven't got a clue what to do with it. They go to the local auction house, and the auctions say, right, okay, they're busy because they've got 5 or 6 house clearances in, and this guy's lifetime collection goes through an auction. Nobody's really looked through it. They've just gone, right, box of coins, box of watches, box of pottery, box of chess, whatever it is, and it's not getting it's not catalogued as true as what it is, because the auction houses haven't got time, or it's been missed, or it's spotted, it's been in a box of with some other stuff. So you can, at the moment, you can get some really good buys out of auction, and the same with the car boot sales. You've got to search for it. It's not easy. You know, not every auction lets stuff get through, but there are a few out there that you can get a good buy from. eBay, you can get a good buy off eBay, although it's probably the most corrupt part of the antique trade at the moment. You know, you've got to be careful who you're buying, what you're buying off. But some people, you know, my dad's dad died and he's got 82 beer cans or something that are collectible. I'll sell them on eBay. Again, same scenario, that nobody's got a clue what the value of these things are. So one that's worth probably 500 quid, rare one, you might pick up for a tenner. It is out there, but it's a full-time job doing it.
Yeah,
it's not easy. You know, you have to know yourself what you're looking for, and then go out and wait for it to come up. And it does come up, and it comes up on eBay, comes up on Marketplace, comes up on Etsy. You can get these things, but you know, for the time you put in, is it worth you? You know, you're better off serving coffee in Starbucks or something.
Yeah. So, what are the key things that you look for in terms of assessing whether something's authentic and its potential value or its actual value?
Well, that's really difficult now, isn't it, to answer that one, because if you're just starting, how are you going to know whether something's authentic? You've got to do your research, and sometimes you don't have time to do research. If you're on a good antique fair or something, and the guy's got a Lowry on for 60 quid, you know, you're not going to have time to research that way, because the guy next to you is going to be buying it. So you take a point. You have to have a bit of a general knowledge on what you're buying, something, or a general idea, because the fakes out there on everything are just unbelievable now. There's stuff coming from China and the Far East is.
So what would you say, sorry to interrupt, what would you say that is the best way for somebody completely new to come into the antiques trade and get a basic understanding of authenticity, or how to spot something that's fraudulent or not? Is there a book? Is there a place where people can go to check things? What would you say is the best approach for people to gain a basic pack of knowledge?
Yeah, good question really. I'd say go to auction houses. Because you see a vast range of stuff, and go to different quality auction houses. Don't just go to Bottoms or Christie's or something like that. Go to your local provincial ones, and just sit and watch or look at the stock, and do that. Don't buy anything. Don't get caught up with auction fever where you think, oh god, that's cheap. Have a look at the stock, and then you'll, without realising it, you'll gain a bit of knowledge. Do that. Walk round your antique fairs. Walk around your good quality antique fairs. See the proper quality stock. Don't look at something and just think because it's that's a cup and saucer and it's 60 quid. Pick it up, have a look at it. See why is it £60 and not £6? Do your own knowledge. There is books out there. There's plenty of books on advice, but they tend to be single category books. Whether it's miniature paintings or whether it's golf clubs or something. So, Antique Trade Gazette, another good one. Bit more intense for the trade, to be honest with you. Bit different. I wouldn't advise it if you're just starting up, but it gives you the lists of the good auction houses that are on, and the antique fairs that are on. So yeah.
How would you say the antique market's changed over the years?
Well, it's fashion, isn't it? The antique. The bread and butter market is antique market is determined by fashion. So, at the moment we've got mid-century furniture, which is the big thing over here. Also, Japanese Americans want to buy mid-century, probably because it's what they grew up with, or what the parents had in, and it might be a bit of nostalgia. Personally, I don't like the mid-century stuff. I don't know why it makes the money. I've seen container loads of stuff going over to America that's basically veneered chipboard. I've burnt over the years tons of it. I've scrapped tons of it in the past, but it's like I say, it's just a fashion thing.
So what's hot right now? What are the current trends, do you think?
There's not much hot on the furniture job at the moment. It's still the mid-centuries going off the boil a bit.
What about across the antique trade, not just furniture?
What's hot?
What's trendy?
I wouldn't say there's small stuff. Small's a trending because the postable. You can stick something in a box and send it across the world. So anything that is postable is trending. A lot of the earlier stuff, the stone heads, the stone figures.
Is there a demand for industrial?
It's died off a lot, the industrial stuff.
Right.
About up until the last couple of years. For the last 10 years, the industrial stuff's been the main thing. You've only got to see salvage hunters there. That is his main staple. Drew's main staple was industrial. It's not now. It's not as much. It still sells because it's the industrial is practical, so it's usable. So we've still got a bit of industrial stuff. I'll put industrial stuff on the website. It's okay. It's got a look, but it's not as in demand as it was. If I knew what was in demand, I wouldn't be sat here doing a video. I'd be out there knocking it out, wouldn't I? So
yeah,
it's hard to do that one.
Okay. What's the rarest or most unique item that you've come across in your career? Difficult question, that one.
Yeah, I need to think about that.
Go on then.
I know. Honestly, you buy and sell that much stuff in your life that it just becomes normality, and the value of the stuff isn't.
Okay, let's ask a different question. What's the most expensive thing you've ever sold, and what price was it? Not including property. How's it?
Okay. Probably a bar,
right,
which was £40,000.
Okay.
That's the most expensive thing I sold, which was a bar.
What was it? How old was it? Where is it from?
It was a Victorian bar, and it was from a pub down in London, on the Fulham Road in London. And we went down on Friday night, took it out. It took us 2 days to get this thing out. We took it out with some other stuff as well. We got some fireplaces out the pub, which were, I think they were 10 grand a piece. They sold. In the days when people wanted fireplaces and bars, if I went down and to the same job now, I wouldn't give you £1,000 for the two. Do you know that? Yeah. That's how volatile, well, versatile this market is.
Okay. What do you think some common misconceptions people have about antiques then?
That everything is old and worth something. Unless you're an antique dealer, everybody's. Oh, my mum had this figure on the window ledge for 30 years, and it must be worth something. And it was probably. It wasn't worth anything 30 years ago. It's not worth anything now. Yeah. It's a fair-ground piece. So I think that's the most common perception that people who no understanding of antiques.
Okay. In this last 42 years, what's been your favourite buy?
God. I don't know, because you fall in love with everything, don't you? You buy, yeah, I do. And then when you get skint, you sell it. That's the problem. So you have to get. Once it's gone, it's gone. And so you can't get emotionally attached to it, to everything. Funnily enough, one I do regret selling was a ballerina that I bought off Mark here, who has this place.
You'll meet him at some point.
Yeah. Mark was a plaster ballerina, and I'll remember the story for this, and I'll bring it up again at some point. And I repaired it, and then wanted to keep it, but I had nowhere to put it. And I'm only talking a couple of years ago, and I regret selling that because we actually found out the history of it after I'd sold it, which was a bit of a downer. But there's loads of things I've sold that I regret because you can't keep everything. 90% of the time on this, you're on the breadline on this job. Because you've got to have a lot of money tied up in stock, and you don't sell it all straight away. You turn it over, and then you might sell something for £500 1 week, and then go and spend £400 on more stock. So you've got £100 for bacon and eggs, and that's it. So yeah, it's you stuff that you want to keep. You want to keep it because it's good, and you want to keep it because if you want to keep it, you're an antique dealer. Everybody wants to keep it. Yeah. And then when you get skint, it's an easy sell. So you sell it. So.
Okay. What are some common mistakes you see beginners make when buying antiques?
Buying reproductions, thinking it's old.
I've done that myself.
Yeah, which we still do it. I still do now. I can get caught out with reproductions. Even the watches. Some antique dealers with watches are getting reproduction ones now that you can't tell the bloody difference. So everybody at some point has been caught out with a reproduction something.
Okay. Do you think the antiques market's growing or shrinking?
I think it's massively shrinking.
And why?
I'll tell you why. Because there's no central body in the antique trade that it's just a mishmash of people, individual people, all on their own, trying to make a living. They've got nothing's coordinated. It needs a lot of guidance. It's the potential for this job is absolutely, it's unbelievable. It's the greenest industry that there is out there. By nature, everything is second-hand. So you should get carbon credits for dealing in this job, because you are just, you're saving everything. You know, your furniture, by nature's 200-300 years old.
I suppose by its very nature, the antiques trade is recycling, whichever way.
Well, it is fully recycling. Nobody pushes that. There is no. You've got two bodies in the antique job, which is Lapada and Barda.
Yeah.
And it's just run by old men with money, and that's all it is. And it's they go out and they pontificate about, and they sit in their ivory towers, and they're propped up by guys like ourselves who are just trying to just making a living, and there's no track or anything to go down. It needs somebody to come along and go, right, we'll do this, we'll advertise, we you know, make it fashionable. You can turn this trade round and it could be one of the biggest trades, one of the biggest industries in the country if it was done properly. If somebody with a bit of foresight and the impetus to do it, but they don't. I mean, there's only one magazine really that's worth looking at in the antique trade, which is the Antique Trade Gazette, and that gives you something that most antique dealers, a magazine that most antique dealers will buy, look at, follow, gives some advice. There's plenty of room out there for something else to come along, and be real about it rather than just somebody's opinion. So it needs that. It needs a body. It needs people to get together. It needs for the whole industry, and I think it could be. You could take this country's antiques and make it worldwide, because we have the best antiques in the world, without a shadow of a doubt. We have the biggest, the most diverse amount of antiques, and you know, some of the some of the other countries' qualities are excellent, but a lot of our stuff is excellent. Our social history is miles better. The social history antiques we've got are better than anywhere else in the world, and the rest of the world want our stuff. But the you know, we make it so hard for them to get it. We could be a lot bigger than we are anyway. I don't know the answer to it, but it certainly needs. It's a question that needs addressing.
Okay, so how do you think technology such as online auctions, thesaleroom.com, eBay, etc., and other apps that can be downloaded from Play Stores, how do you think that's impacted the industry?
Oh, massively. It's changed it. It's changed it. I think it's saved it.
I mean, that is the process that we're going through, which is taking what Carl does, what he's collected, what he's bought over the years, what he wants to sell, putting it onto the platform, this new website that we've got, originalfinds.com. There'll be a link at the bottom, and associating that with a channel and bringing new people, new customers through the channel onto the website to have a look, and hopefully people will come back and watch the show every week. The normal show that we do is not like this. This is, like I say at the beginning, it's just an introduction to who we are and what we do. Yeah, I mean that's the point of what we're doing. So we're taking what you do and bringing it into the 21st century.
Exactly, in the 21st century. It needs to come in the 21st century. I mean, I know lots of guys who can't turn a computer on, who are great antique dealers. You know, let's get together. Let's make this a shop window for the world, not just for not just for a few dealers who know us and are going to go, look at them pair of idiots and just blabbing on, don't know what they're on about, you know. So let's help people, let's advise people, let's create something, or try and create something that for us, you know. Let's fundamentally start for us, and if everybody else can benefit from it, then that'll be great. So. Okay,
so some fun questions now. If you could own any antique from history, what would it be?
Oh, God almighty, how long is this video going to go on for?
Yeah, 20 minutes. That's fine.
Do you, I don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't know. I could give you one answer now, and then it's like when somebody says to you, starts taking the mickey out of you, and you should be retorting with a good answer, and you get 2 days later, you wake up and go, I should have said this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the same scenario as that. So I don't know when I can think of something that I really want.
Okay, what's one item on your bucket list that you've not been able to find yet?
I've not found it yet.
So you have got a bucket list?
No, I haven't got a bucket list at
all.
all.
That was a pointless question.
Yeah, it was. Well, I mean, it's so. You'll see when you go around this place here. This place here is Mark's place. It's Mark's place. You could probably see the background. It's fantastic. Matt's going to do.
I'll take some shots of this place after this particular part of the video, so you can see what's going on here.
Mark is my other friend, and he's recently come into the antique trade. He's been doing it for about 5 years now. Got caught up in the middle of COVID, so you can probably say he's only been doing it for about 3 years. But he's fantastic at the job. He's really good at the job, and we have a great time. We have a great laugh. We go out, we do antique fairs. He troops off on his own, just buys from auctions, brings stuffs back, meets new antique dealers, and between us we do all right. Between us we enjoy ourselves, really, and that's what it's about. This is the most enjoyable job in the world. When I retire, I'm going to do this as a hobby. It's that good, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so final question. Where can people find or follow your business?
Originalfinds.com. Get on it. Matt's putting a link on it. See, I even know what a link is now. That's good, isn't it? You know, things are looking up.
Baby steps.
Yeah. So come with us. This is going to be a journey. We've no idea where we're going. We're saying, we'll go and put petrol in the car and give it a bit of a road trip then.
Yeah.
Cool.
Don't forget to hit subscribe and like. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much. See you soon.